As we first told you last night, some Sioux City homeowners say they're shocked by new assessments of their property. In fact, the city assessor expects property assessments could increase up to 20%. But one homeowner we spoke with saw his property assessment jump 46%. Tonight, KTIV Clayton Anderson shares the story.
I mean, it can really affect, my income, what I have to provide for my kids every month.
That's homeowner Chuck Swaggerty expressing his frustration with the new assessment on his 1916 Queen Anne Victoria home on Nebraska Street. Swaggerty says his assessment jumped by $86,000 in just 1 year, and that means his property taxes will go up as well. That's something Tanya Vikulskis, the president of the Northwest Iowa Board of Realtors, is worried about too.
We are concerned with the very, very rapid increase in assessments that some people could lose their homes, and that is a very tragic situation.
City Assessor Tyler Erickson says the city makes assessments based on sales of homes in the last year. Erickson says homes have sold for more than their assessed value, so by law, Erickson says he's required to raise the assessed value. But that also shows him that demand for homes is high.
I think it's good for Sioux City in general. When you have prices that are soaring and they were too high or people didn't want to be here, you wouldn't have houses selling. So this shows that people want to be in Sioux City.
After the sticker shock that Chuck Swaggerty had when he opened his assessment in the mail, he is looking to appeal, which he has from April 2nd to April 30th to do so.
I don't think a bank would give me a loan for what they're assessing my house at, so I just think it's really unfair to raise my assessed value that high.
For now, Swaggerty says he can only hope he can win his appeal and the city will reduce the recent assessment. In Sioux City, Clayton Anderson, KTIV News 4.
Once again, the appeals process runs from April 2nd through April 30th. For a link to more information, you can check out this story right now on KTIV.com.